guys, it's me. I'm back. This is gonna be coffee talks with Lex. So, I just made that espresso. I got it. It's good. I used the pumpkin oat milk creamer. I don't know. They didn't have my regular creamer at the store, so this is what I bought, and this is what I've got. So we're gonna enjoy it. I've been living off of this morning and night. I'm Italian. Get away from me. Good soup. Our setup today, I've got Bay's chair, and I'm just now realizing that PewDiePie is in fact in the background. Let me see if I can change the exposure. Can you see him? High five. Okay. Anyways, so today we are going over why I'm not playing volleyball anymore and what I've been up to, and if you care, stick around. And if you don't, that's fine. There are bigger problems in the world than whether or not Lexi is playing volleyball. So let's dive right in, Beach. Where it all started. I started playing volleyball at about 10-ish years old. I really enjoyed City League. It was really fun. Nothing but a good time, and I think that's just about how every kid gets started on any sport. You know, you enjoy it, you love it, you play for it, you decide you're going to the Olympics for it at the young, ripe age of 10 years old, and that's what you decide you're gonna do with your whole life. So yeah, that's what I did. I basically devoted my life to volleyball. I told my parents I'm going to college for volleyball. We have old papers from when I was a kid in like second grade saying that I'm gonna live in San Diego and play volleyball, and that's what I'm gonna do. For a long time, it looked like that was gonna be true, and it looked like that was what I was gonna do, and I just didn't. Sport is not your whole world, and to an athlete, you wanna push against that and say, no, it is, and it is my whole world, and I love it. But I promise you, you are so much bigger than your sport. And while it teaches you so many lessons, it's okay to quit if you're gonna be in a similar boat that I was in. I digress. I ended up playing volleyball all throughout high school, all the way into college. It filled up majority of my time, majority of my energy. I played indoor, I played travel, I played beach, aka sand. It took up the whole year. I couldn't tell you a week that we didn't talk about volleyball, that I wasn't going to do volleyball, and I never truly burned out with it all throughout high school, even when I was playing 6-7 days a week. I honestly don't know how I did it. Props to you athletes out there who are still doing that. After all this recruitment and playing in high school, I finally got recruited to play in college. And it was really exciting. It's what I worked for. My recruitment story, it was a little bit hard. I was that athlete that emailed every coach. I emailed them several times. I took time on my emails. I made it personal. I sent my film, and I had decent film. Okay, I'm saying this like I'm like Olympic. I'm not Olympic. Many people are better than me, but when I tell you I had the work ethic to do what I needed to do to get the starting spot, to know what it meant to grind at the bottom, to be a captain as a senior, that was what I did. I said, who's the best player? I want to cheer her on, and I want to be right next to her, and I'm going to be just like her. I want people to look up to me how they look up to her. And that's what I did. And I enjoyed that process. I liked getting better. I liked the struggle of sucking ass cheeks to being like, how did that girl get where she was? And it's because I put hours and hours and hours and hours into this every week. I lived it, I breathed it, I would die for it. I wouldn't, but you get the gist. In terms of my recruitment, I ended up getting picked up to a small school in California, private university. It was definitely an interesting experience. It was hard. It was a really, really hard time in my life, and when I talk about it, I get a lot of different emotions, and like, I don't know why I kind of feel myself getting upset about it. I went in and I was excited, and I was excited to play, and I was like, this is what I've worked for. I put so many hours into this, like, this is what I wanted. Freshman year was hard. Oh, I'm crying. Stop. High five for PewDiePie in the back to stop fucking crying, Beach. Maybe we just need a coffee break to remember what this is all about. Coffee talks, right? Ooh. Okay. freshman year was hard. I ended up getting injured. I just about fully tore my hip flexor. I could not pick up my legs. I could not drive. I could not go to bed without having to physically like get in bed. Like if this is my bunk bed, I would sit at the top. I couldn't pick my leg up, so I would physically have to lift my leg to get in bed. Like my body was completely and fully giving out on me. And about time. I hadn't had more than one serious injury in my whole career. And you know, it's not the worst thing to complain about. That stuff heals. I'm fine now. There's worse things in the world. But at the time I was overworked, and a lot of that was my own fault. Trigger warning, if you have eating disorder, any kind of issue with food or anything surrounding that, skip ahead to this time. I had picked up an eating disorder. I was never officially diagnosed, but looking back, I know I had an eating disorder. I lost a lot of weight. I wore one of those watches where I tracked my calories. I would burn upwards of 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. Being a college athlete, you do that. And I was severely under eating. I wasn't eating nearly enough every day. I think that's a lot of the reason why my body started falling apart. I wasn't giving it the nutrients I needed. And in that, I developed, I would say, pretty severe, I don't know if it was anxiety or if it was just stress. I don't know. I was not in a good place. I never felt further from God and my faith and where I came from. It was a very dark year. And that's when I started looking at God and almost shaking my fist like, God, like I trusted you. I gave this to you. I said, Lord, I will do whatever I need to do. No one's going to work harder than me to do this. I can make it through. When I started doing that is when I started pulling away from God even more. And it hurts my heart to say that now. But I'm also very far away from that now, you know? Is this me? Is this really what I want? Is this what I'm destined to be? This one thing this is basically my whole life. I'm a young, ripe 18, 19 years old. And I've put years and years into this, and it's the only thing I've ever really wanted. And I'm failing. Or at least it felt like I was. So it just was a huge knife in the heart, knife in your ego, work ethic. It just made me feel like if I can't succeed at this and I'm good at this, am I going to succeed at anything? So it was a hard year, to say the freaking least. Coffee, break, jeez. After a lot of consideration, I ended up leaving that school. I decided that I needed to come home and I needed to go to a community college to redirect my path for volleyball. And so I came home and I said, I'm going to get my degree done, at least my AA, because first and foremost, that is why I'm in school. I had very good perspective on that. So I went and I got my sports medicine degree, which I'm super proud of. I love that degree. I love helping people in that realm. But at the same time, I also started working and I started making connections back at home, and that was really beneficial for me, you know? And then before you knew it, I was about to break up with my boyfriend of 3 years, and it just felt like the icing on the cake. I was like, okay, like what else is this world gonna throw at me? I started grinding on me, on myself. I started doing research on eating disorders and what I needed to do to become successful. I started reverse dieting. I finally started putting on more muscle. I finally started to feel good again. And that was so big. It was such a personal win that I felt like I have this control over myself. I don't need to hold on to this tight control of my food because I have control over the other areas of my life now. And I'm taking back control. And that was huge. That was so huge for me. It's a lot of what helped me step forward into succeeding and where I was headed next in life. God is so good. Guys, like, I don't know why this happened. I can't remember for my life how this happened. But I was at work on the computer and I looked up Christian books because I was so far away from my faith. I said, I'll give anything a shot. I have no boyfriend. I'm starting over from scratch. My whole life is scratch. I have wiped away everything. I'm starting over. What do I do? and I found this book, and it was A Love Letter Life by Jeremy and Audrey Roloff, and that book changed my perspective on everything. It changed my perspective on what a relationship looks like, that they're possible, and the fact that, you know, I had to take care of me first before I ever took care of anything else. And I said, ding, my bad bitch light went off. Code. I don't know if I go on talking while he's doing this. This is my life. Anyways, back to friend talk. But anyways, while he's causing a ruckus over there, bad bitch mode went off in my brain, and I said, you know what? Time to tune back into me. I've got my diet under control. I have got myself under control. I've got my degree. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I grinded hard in volleyball. I worked hard, and then I ended up getting recruited again by a school in Florida, something I never thought would happen. It was a dream school. Dream school. This school was amazing. The coach was amazing. The girls were amazing. The location was beautiful. I mean, you could not beat this opportunity that I had. And I just finally was like, I did it. Like, I did it after years and years and years of grinding at being a volleyball player collegiately, and knowing what it means to be injured after working so hard for something, and knowing what feeling like failing is, all of it. It just was like, wow. Like, there is more. There is more. There's always a new door that's gonna open, and I can't even tell you what I mean by that, because I didn't even end up playing there. I didn't even go. The fact that I went and I made the team. I grinded on my own. I had no one supporting me other than my parents and my best friend at the time. I had nothing. And to feel like I worked hard. I did that. I flew to Florida by myself. I got that recruitment. I grinded. I did what I could. I made the right decisions. And you did it. And honestly, I think I'm getting emotional. Ooh. Coffee. High five, PewDiePie. Sorry, there you go. Okay. I made my goal. I did what I was destined to do for so long. Something ticked off in my brain that said, you did what you needed to do. You don't need to do anything else. And that was just like, am I fulfilled? Am I like fulfilled in my sport for once? And I'll get there. Don't rush me. At the time, Florida was the epicenter of all of this. It was very early in the middle of the panoramic. Me and the coach decided that it would not be best for me to go out there. I had a conversation with her, and she completely understood. This woman was so good to me and so kind to me. The girls were so kind to me. I still keep up to date on that team, and they are just always killing it. It hasn't changed since. And little bow tie on the end, I could have ever imagined, because even though I didn't get to go, it was still my choice. And I was okay with that. I was okay with that, because I think in all of this, what I really wanted was to decide that it was my choice to end my volleyball career. It was not someone else's choice to take that away from me. Flash forward, you're probably wondering what I'm doing now. I am finishing my degree online, as many people are right now. And it's been great, honestly. I mean, I'm actually gonna finish like 6 months early, which is nice, like really nice. now I'm doing one of my dream jobs, and I'm teaching sports therapy and rehab therapy at a Pilates studio. I couldn't ask for anything more. I mean, it's amazing. It's a blast. And that job has also given me freedom to go and get back into things like YouTube and into fun things like this. I ended up meeting my best friend at that first school. I ended up meeting Joe. We adopted a crazy son, Toby, who you've seen in just about every video because he loves to be involved. I'm living in my own apartment now, and I have my like freaking adult job. Like what else do you need? And I'm healthy. I'm healthy. There needs to be gratitude in that. And I am beyond grateful. I am so grateful. Some people may think that my entire journey or parts of my journey were a waste of time. And I'm not even gonna lie with you. I thought it was too. I thought it was a waste of time. But it wasn't. I focused back on God and saw that I gained a best friend. I gained a godly relationship with a man who loves God. I learned how to stand up for myself and who I am and what I want, who I am outside of volleyball. And let me tell you, I'm still figuring that out. I am 21 and probably never been more confused about who I am in my life, but I know that I find joy in my family. I find joy in helping people in their bodies with Pilates activities like posting YouTube videos. I'm loving who I'm becoming. I'm loving growing my spirit. I actually love going to church for once in my life. I always dreaded it, and now I love it, and it's because I see what God has done. I want to be a part of that. I want to see what else God is going to do. And even if that means putting me on a crazy, giant life hiatus for 3 years, I am so willing to do it all over again because I know that at the end I've gained more, I've grown more, and I'm okay with that. And I will do whatever it takes to follow His plan. I got this tattoo of this cross. I got this as a reminder for that period of time in my life and what it taught me. Always trust in God, always trust in His processes and the big giant questioning of my faith, and that God was always with me. Every single tear, every single battle with my eating disorder, anxiety, maybe depression, I don't know. Regardless, He was there for me through all of it. He knew when to help me end my relationship. He brought a beautiful relationship back into my life, and so much has blossomed. There was a lot of hurt in the growth, and there was a lot of joy in the journey. And that's what this symbolizes for me. Not that tattoos need to have a symbol, but for me, that's what this means. So for all my family and friends, and whoever else may be curious, that's a big, giant, important chunk of my life that I cannot believe I'm putting out on the internet. I love you guys. Thanks for this kind of intense-ish video that I don't normally post. We'll be back to some lighter content another time. I'm gonna finish my coffee and enjoy my night. So, oh, PewDiePie says bye to beach. So, bye!